Hey everybody, so finally returning back to this pantry door project. I put a little poll online back when I was trying to decide how I was going to finish it, if I was going to keep it natural with some oil or do the Shou Sugi Ban finish. More people actually tend to want to leave it natural, but you know what they say, there's really only one opinion that ever really matters in these house projects, and that's the honey-do list. And that was decided, let's try the Shou Sugi Ban. So we're going to char this baby up. Thought it was going to look nice. We have a lot of black accents. We have the black kitchen sink and the black accents on the stove. So I think actually this door is going to be like a nice accent piece to the kitchen. And I think it's going to be kind of cool. I did a little couple test pieces with some of the trim, and it had a really cool effect. But first, before I start taking the door off the hinges and charring it up, I talked about how, which I still haven't put on, I should have put them on before, but I have these little magnetic catches. I'm going to install that first, and it's going to be easier to do that now than when the door is all charred up. I also bought these little wire baskets that are going to go inside, probably like, you know, on the inside of the door, because there's a lot of room in there when the door closes for some extra storage. But I'll do that after. Alright, so the way these go is you get the little thing, I don't know if you can see this, but we have 3 holes here that are going to screw into the door, and then there's these 2 magnetic pieces, these metal pieces here that connect to the magnets, and these screw onto the door. Actually, they're backwards right now. You can see how they have these sort of, if you can see this, these little like prong nibs. So you put those on this way, those prongs pointing outwards like that. And so when you screw this in to the door jamb and then you close the door, these will make a mark on the door so you know where to attach these to the door. There. You can see there how we made the marks on the door. So that's where we attach those plates to. Take the line up. Stick that in there. Alright. Now, let's see how this closes. Okay, so that's that. I've got one extra if I feel like the door needs another one. I can maybe put it down on the bottom, but for now, I think that's good. Now it's time I pop this door off the hinges and we'll take it into the garage and torch it up. Pin out. Here for safekeeping. I'll take off the bottom and we'll go in the garage. I'll see you in there. Alright, well, now we can get started. So lift the hardware on. I'm going to take it off. I'm just going to mark where the screw holes are. I want to not burn just that area that will be hidden by the door handle, just so it attaches better. It's not going to be that rough texture of the char. And then I left the hinges on as well. This would be a pain to take that. I'm just going to selectively burn around that. So, of course my battery died as I was doing all the stuff, but so you can see I taped off the screw holes, and then a little pro tip, you missed it, but I wrapped the screws from the handle up in a piece of painter's tape, and then I taped that to the door handle, and this is just an easy way to not lose your screw hardware while you're taking things off for reasons like this, and then you won't lose that. Now we can get to charring this bad boy. Put that aside. Okay, so I'm actually gonna flip this over. I'm gonna start on the back side, just in case I realize I don't like this. You can have a backside charred door and a front side, fine, but let's do that. Heavy door. All right, does everybody know what time it is? It's time to fire it up. It's time to fire it up. That took longer than I expected. And I still got to do the other side. But now what I do is a little technique I call painting with fire. Is once I've got a char over everything, I just kind of look and go over closely and just find areas that maybe didn't get enough, and I just sort of artistically burn sort of the charring effect I want throughout, you know, spots. I just sort of in my torch, you know, say, I want some more like alligator skinning effect here. Maybe some more there. And just go over the whole thing and do that. Just sort of artistically, you know, burn and create that crackling effect. So then once I'm done with that, I'm going to do the other side. Then I'm going to, well, we'll just get to that step after. Okay. Now what I like to do is, before we move on to the other side, I just take a brush and sort of brush off any bits. You know, sometimes you get some flaky bits, so I'm just going to sort of give it a brushing so any of those loose bits come up, sort of. Alright. Then what I like to do is just sort of wet a paper towel. Some of it's still a little bit hot, so it helps cool it down, but it also just helps pick up a lot of resin. Okay, outside B. Alright, so now we have both sides of that door nice and charred. It's looking pretty nice. So I am, you know, even though Shou Sugi Ban is a finish on its own, since this is going indoors, I am going to finish this with just a couple light coats of shellac spray, just to keep any of that ashy residue from coming off and rubbing off when we use the door. But before I do that, I'm going to let it sit for a bit, just let all this burning cool down. The last time I had tried to apply some shellac over torched, when it was still a little bit warm, it just caused bubbles to arise under the shellac, so we're going to let this cool off before we do that. So it sometimes happens when you're working on projects around the house, things come up. This has been sitting in here for like 2 weekends now, but that's good. It gave everything time to settle in. But as you can see, it's still a little bit ashy. So I'm just going to give this one quick wipe down just to get a little bit of that residue, and I'm just going to do one light coat of shellac over this whole door. Since this is going to be used in the kitchen, just to avoid some of this. You don't want this coming off on your fingers. Even though this Shou Sugi Ban finish, you know, if this was an outdoors, it would be perfectly fine just as it is, as a preservation of the wood. But since it's going to be used in the kitchen, I just want to put a little bit of a coat over this. Okay, well I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and then once this is really dry, I'm going to get this back inside finally. Wow. Came out really good. I'm so happy that I decided to go with this decision of burning the door. This is going to look really stunning in the kitchen, I think. And the shellac really worked. No more ashy char on my fingers. The door is going to be extra protected. Cool. So this has been sitting here for like 2 weekends now. Now we got the door handle back on. Let's go get this bad boy back inside. That's pretty cool, huh? I like it. Yes. So clearly you can see this project has been on hold for a while. You know, with the new job. It's just hard to keep up with these videos, but I'm gonna get them going, guys, and we're gonna get back to this. Clearly you can see that this door's been off for a while, and this janky setup I had to do with this cardboard to keep the cat out of the pantry. And sometimes he would still find his way in there, dive bombing over the top. It's been a mess. So it's gonna be really nice to get this pantry door back on. Let's get this out of the way here. So you can see I added these little wire shelves on the inside for some little extra storage. I think that's working out nice. I have one extra one still. I'm not sure if I want to really put one lower or just kind of leave it how it is. But Works out good. Organized the pantry a little bit, so this is gonna work out nicely. Well, what do you guys think? I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm really glad I decided to go this way rather than just leaving it with a natural finish. I just think it's a really nice accent to the kitchen now. These little shelves. Really nice. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for sticking with my channel. I'm going to keep trying to do these videos as often as I can. It's been an interesting balance trying to keep this going while going back to work. But, you know, I enjoy doing this, so I'm going to keep doing it as often as I can. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. And please don't mind the sweat. But, you know, like I always say, if you're not sweating, you're not working hard enough. See you guys next time.